distribution of medical cannabis is legal.
So many families are having to make that really difficult choice, the worst of choices, between breaking the law and saving their child's life.
This year, we've met multiple Australians who have made the tough choice to illegally use medical marijuana, like 24-year-old Daniel Haslam, who turned to cannabis oil to cope with the chronic pain of fortnightly rounds of chemotherapy for stage 4 bowel cancer.
I've just got to do it. But I'm not proud of it, and I'm not happy about having to do it.
But we need to do it.
What choice do we have? I want to get old.
The proposed law change in Victoria won't make smoking marijuana legal. Instead, it will clear the way for cannabis oil to be used in the treatment of serious conditions such as cancer, multiple sclerosis, HIV/AIDS, glaucoma and Parkinson's disease. There's been a shift in New South Wales too, where both sides of politics have given tentative support for a new bill that will legalise medical marijuana. The AMA has cautiously backed the move.
There's a growing body of evidence to show that medical marijuana may have a clinical use. Just like any other medicine on the Australian market, we would require medicinal cannabis to go through the same regulatory hoops.
If we haven't got the compassion and the courage to update this law and to drag this law into the 21st century, then children will die.
Victorian mum Cassie Batten turned to cannabis oil 10 months ago in a desperate bid to keep her 3-year-old son Cooper alive. Cassie, how has cannabis oil helped Cooper?
It has dramatically reduced his seizures. He's a lot more relaxed now. Developmentally, he's actually able to learn. He's now starting to sit, he's crawling, he eats and drinks orally. These were things that he couldn't do beforehand.
When you say control his seizures, how many seizures was he having in a day?
He would have anything up to 60 seizures a day, with his longest being 1.5 hours long. We couldn't plan anything. We didn't know within the next 24 hours where we would be, whether we'd be at home or in hospital. He was spending 95% of his time in hospital.
Cassie, we understand you had a meeting with the Victorian opposition leader, Daniel Andrews, who probably will end up becoming Premier later this year. How did that meeting go?
He asked about Cooper, what his life was like beforehand, and he could see the difference now. It went very well. We were excited to meet with him and to have him on board supporting this.
Well, you've had difficulties in the past. The police have, I think, spoken to you about the cannabis use, and I understand that Human Services is going to pay you a visit. In the back of your mind, is there a thought that perhaps they could even take Cooper off you?
There was initially. Now they've put those fears at ease. However, they are still investigating, both the police and Department of Human Services.
Cassie, when you listen to talk back on the morning, you know, there were so many people this morning ringing up saying, you know, but what about the negative effects of cannabis and people using it wrong? I mean, what would you say to those people that sort of aren't in your situation?
All I can do is, you know, our general response to that is we didn't have a future beforehand with Cooper. He didn't have a long-term outlook. And if that's what it takes, then that's what we have to live with in the future. But again, most of the psychoactive components are removed from this, so we shouldn't have the same side effects.
Well, we wish you all the best with it, Cassie, and thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you.
It seemed like a very sensible thing to do.
Brainer, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the side effects, I don't think that's an issue. The big issue for lawmakers is, are they creating a precedent where they're going to legalise, for some people, the ability to use cannabis? And then it'll get into a legal minefield when someone's caught in the street with, you know, a joint or something. I think that's what the lawmakers are worried about.
It's either that or loss of life. So.
Well, I mean, that woman there, imagine going through that 50 seizures a day.
Yeah. And Daniel Andrews' political opponent in Victoria is Geelong supporter and Victorian Premier Dennis Napthine. Now, he lost a bet with Hawthorn fan Limo over the weekend after